Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at Tablemon. Pardon my crazy hair. Today we're going to be taking a look at Rossing Moon. Yeah, the deck that Ross Cawthon has been working on for so long. I'm good friends with him and I know he shares his testing process with me, and he's definitely been working really hard on this deck for a long time, and it was really cool to see him get that really big result at Charlotte. Would have loved to see him go even deeper in his tournament run, but top 8 really good. And then we also how Liverpool went. A ton of people made day 2 with his exact deck list, which is really cool to see. So Roaring Moon, very powerful card. Frenzied Gouging, that 1 KO button against everything. You trade 2 for 2. Yeah, you leave yourself very vulnerable, and that's completely fine. And then Calamity Storm, very powerful attack, 220 damage, gets a knockout on a lot of key Pokemon in the metagame, which is very important. And you have Dark Patch, you have Galarian Moltres V, just have so much support for this, for dark types right now, that it makes sense that this deck ends up being really good. Galarian Moltres V gets you extra energy acceleration. Mew EX, Squawk, and Greninja provide the deck a lot of draw support, which is fantastic. And then we have the Morpeko in order to have that free retreat. And also, the Energy Wheel is actually a pretty powerful attack. You get to knock out those low HP basic Pokemon, and you get to power up the Roaring Moon and at the same time. So getting those turn 1 knockouts with Morpeko is actually quite easy and straightforward to do, which I like. Now, the deck is more based around Professor's research than Professor Sada's vitality. It does get confusing between the two arts, especially if you play the full art, so definitely be careful with that. And then we have Boss's Orders to chase down opponents, Iono and Judge to further disrupt, and then the rest of the deck, pretty self-explanatory and direct. Yeah, the point of this deck is to be simple, straightforward, and just powerful overall. 4 Battle VIP Pass, 4 Dark Patch, 4 Energy Switch, the 3 Trekking Shoes, all around support and consistency for the deck, along with the Ultra Balls, along with the Earthen Vessels. And then the Pal Pad, because you do discard a lot of resources with Squawk, with PokéStop, with Vessel and Ultra Ball, and even the Trekking Shoes. But this is something I think a lot of people miss about this deck. It's like they do one PokéStop, they hit some good cards, and they're like, oh no, this PokéStop, it's so harsh, right? But you're not looking at what you shouldn't be focusing on what you're losing, you should be focusing on what you're gaining. Yeah. Who cares if you discarded a few supporters, because you don't need to. The games last 4 turns, yeah, so you don't need 8 supporters in your deck. If you discard a couple, that's fine, you still have others. And you have ways to recover. Yeah, you have ways to recover everything except Pokemon in this deck, and that's completely fine. Yeah, so definitely focus on what you're gaining rather than what you're losing, and that applies to Squawk, that applies to Professor's Research, PokéStop, any card that discards stuff to get you more stuff. Focus on what you're getting and what you need to get to win the game, as opposed to what you're losing. Because if you get frustrated and flustered every time you discard good cards, like, you're always going to be flustered because you only play good cards in a deck, right? So it doesn't make sense to get flustered over that. If you discard the game-winning card, sure, but then you got a question: was it correct to play the PokéStop at that point? And then we have the Emergency Jelly combined with the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule to try and make Roaring Moon live for as long as possible, which is really cool to see. For a Seal Stone for the extra consistency. The one card that I would love to see here, that I've been thinking a lot about, is Luminion V. Yeah, I feel like Luminion V could be a very powerful card, can be fetched with Ultra Ball, especially in those late game scenarios where you just need boss to win, right? Sometimes getting that boss feels very complicated, and relying only on Mew can feel a little bad, so just something to consider. But for now, we're gonna jump in some games with Ross's deck, see how it goes, and see if we can beat up some good opponents. On to the games. If you want to support the channel, you can use code Tablemon to get 5% off at Town Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 10% off on your aluminum accessories at TC Evolutions. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. ¿Eres de México y necesitas cartas de Pokémon? Busca Hyper Beam Cards en Facebook e Instagram. Y si estás en Tijuana, búscalos en el local C27 en el Centro Comercial Otay. Alright, so our opponent won the coin flip and chose to go first, so that could be an indication that we are up against Gardevoir, which would be very bad news. However, we are up against Arceus V, so that's usually gonna be a pretty decent matchup. And even if they try to path us right away to try and slow us down, which clearly they can't, we will be able to get out of that. Now, the bad part of them benching that Bidoof is that we can no longer get the 2 prizes. They do path, which I think is a very good play, but unfortunately it's just not going to be enough to delay us. Now, this boss's orders, I mean, this escape rope, something that I'm definitely considering playing, but no, I think I'm gonna rely on the energy switches to try and get this KO. So I'm gonna establish a Squawk. Ooh, but oh my, well, never mind. I priced both Moltres. That is really, oh gosh, that is really unlucky, honestly. All right, so that just made things 10 times more complicated. I can't even for a Seal Stone anymore. That is just, and I priced more Pico as well. Oh my. This is just awful. This is actually just, honestly, it's sort of evil even. I mean, I needed this, I need double this, but I also need double Dark Patch. If I get that, then I might be able to do something. So can I hit a Dark Patch here off the PokéStop? No, I cannot. Alright, well, this is really, really bad. Like, really, really bad. So, I mean, I might as well commit to this. I will definitely want to put back stuff. Well, I guess, okay, so my opponent did not attach. I think I'm gonna rely on Sada, and I want the boss's orders. My opponent did not attach energy, so that is a pretty big deal for sure. So I'm just gonna commit to like taking it slow. All right. Really sucks that if I had the Moltres, I'm fairly certain I could have been able to do this, but it's all good. Yeah. My opponent whiffed energy attachment, so that pretty much means they're not threatening anything at all whatsoever when you're playing Arceus. The number one thing you need is a turn 1 attachment, which my opponent was not able to do. Yeah. And I wonder what version they're playing, because usually you play the Zacian to compensate for that, right? The Zacian V. However, that did not happen. All right, full face guard. Takes 20 less when you have no abilities. However, they do have abilities. Oh, but this one doesn't have ability. All right. So best case scenario for me would be to be able to go boss, frenzy gouging this Arceus V-Star. That solves all my trouble. Oh my, this is also really bad. Yeah, they could have attached the double turbo to the Arceus V and then just used Trinity Charge to power up on the bench. So big mistake on my opponent. Very big mistake on my opponent. They could have had 5 energy in play, and then if I knock that out, they have this one almost ready to go. If I knock this one out, they have that one ready to go. But they did quite possibly the worst choice right there. Alright, so I am not KOing this unless I frenzy gouging. Okay, that is the important thing here. So that's less than ideal. I mean, if I manage to go 2-2-2, then who cares? You know, who cares if I get 2 prizes or not? However, there's no guarantee. You know? So what would I like to see here? I would love to see Dark Patch. I'm definitely gonna research, so I might as well thin a Pokemon, right? I'd love to see a Dark Patch. I would love to see a boss as well. I already have 3 run ones in play. So let's see what we got off these concealed cards. No boss and an energy switch that we probably would have liked afterwards, but all right. Just gonna research here. We are going to Dark Patch. That's nice. We do have the free retreating option. I'm gonna save this. So you know what? I'm gonna heal myself, and I'm gonna attach this over here. This Professor Sada is gonna be pretty key next turn. I have a lot of good cards in my deck, so I'm not gonna use PokéStop. Well, I guess Boss's Orders probably won't matter at this point, so I should use it. Alright, I do lose the Iono. I do find a Dark Patch, however, which is very nice. Just to get that going. And we are going to Frenzied Gouging. Because of that silly tool card, I have to do that. If I didn't need to do that, then that would probably be game over, but I do need to do that. And that's okay. Yeah, that's generally okay. I got the first 2 prizes. They are a 2-prize deck. I now have my Moltres, which is fantastic because that's extra energy acceleration, which is great. So long as they don't path me to deny the Moltres. The V-Guard energy does not matter whatsoever. I am down 3 Pokéstops though, so if they do choose to play it on a path, that could slow down my Moltres draw. You have to imagine they're also going to go Judge here. Like Judge path is pretty decent. I do have a solid number of cards that help me here just like get going. You know, especially if it's a Judge, I can redraw this. I do get Iono'd. I am running low on energy, I guess. The other Sada is available, but I get energy, I get Dark Patch. They still have their V-Star. I'm guessing they're gonna find that path to a peak, right? That would make sense. And getting that next Roaring Moon could be problematic, but they did not. Wow, they didn't even V-Star. What? Why would you not V-Star there? That is insane. That is... What? Like, if I just... What? Okay, well, this is game, especially with the hand that we have right now. So I'm gonna do this. And then I'm going to do this. I'm gonna save the Switch card. And honestly, what I'm gonna do here is just take these 2 prizes. My opponent just handed them to me. And sure, that means this friend is still alive, but all I need to do now, because they cannot 1-hit KO my Roaring Moon, is Frenzied Gouging them. And that's it. Yeah. Then I just win. And there it is. So really questionable plays by my opponent, not attaching to the active Arceus, not using the V-Star, not playing the path. Questionable plays. But anyways, on to the next match. Alright, so on to game 2. No idea what we are up against. Based on the sleeves, perhaps Charizard, but we actually figure out it's Turbo Miraidon. So losing these 2 boss off of Squawk, not the biggest deals. We are going to go second, therefore what we want to do is ideally have 2 single price Pokemon that we can bench, but of course I priced the Morpeko once again. Oh boy. Alright, well, I'm still gonna retreat into the Greninja and hope my opponent can't get a 2-price knockout. Which, that could also stop it. Now, not the biggest fan of losing all these resources, but it is what it is. We get solid draw afterwards. Let's go ahead and conceal cards as well. Alright, looking pretty decent in order for us to retreat into the Greninja. Alright, imagine if we had gone second, right? This would have been super good, but all good. Yeah, as long as we are able to prevent the 2-price knockout, that's gonna be fantastic. The issue with that is if my opponent is able to just leave a single price Pokemon, I just lost both of my boss's orders. So that's really bad, but you can only do so much with what you're given. And I was given both boss's orders in my starting hand, so not much you can do about that. Raw Battle VIP Pass. That's insane when they only play like 1 or 2, but all good. We see the Iron Hands, we see the Squawk. Oh, Iron Hands is also a way they can get 2 prize cards for sure. So if they pull off the Iron Hands, which is harder to pull off than just a regular Miraidon on paper. That's fine. Yeah, now we'll just have to hope that they whiff. Yeah, that's gonna be what we play towards, hoping they whiff. They do commit the energy attachment to the Miraidon, to the Iron Hands, so that means no double turbo possibilities now, which makes it just a little bit harder. Yeah, just a little teeny bit harder to pull off, which makes me happy for sure. We have not seen, I was about to say, we have not seen the Peony. There's the Peony, in fact. So probably gonna grab double. Yep, double generator. And we need them to average 1 energy per generator. They hit, I'm guessing 2. Yep, they hit 2. And so now we need them to whiff this generator. And they did not whiff. Hopefully it's just 1. Alright, just 1. So they get the Iron Hands, they'll get 3 cards afterwards, but this is where hopefully, right, hopefully they can whiff. You know, at some point we need them to whiff. That's the goal here, right? Okay. Oh, so they squawked away the Flaffy. That's really big. Them squawking away the Flaffy is actually a really big deal. Them hitting the Force Seal Stone is also a really big deal. Oh, wow. Okay, they PokéStop away 2 balls and a Peony. They have their Force Seal Stone. But without Flaffy, it's definitely going to be a little trickier for them to get back to back. Like, they'll have this one. They have 2 generators to find the next one. But then it's the last one, right? It's that last one that could be a little tricky for them to pull off. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, but now it's on them to whiff. And now we also do have Disruption. My Iono and my Judges are still available. So that's really good news. I kind of wanted to play the Ultra Ball, but now I don't want to anymore. I'm just going to go Dark Patch, power up, hope for the best. Right? That's all we can hope for. So I'm just going to commit. I could Ultra Ball and then try to get the Iono, but I don't think that's really feasible here. I think Iono, the turn after this one, is probably what's going to be the way to go. Right, so I'm not going to attach a tool yet. I don't need to commit that. I will play this though, just for now. I have my Iono in hand, so I won't mind if they knock me out. Ooh, losing all those energies is actually really awkward here. And it is what it is. Alright, so we're gonna Frenzied Gouging, get the 2 prizes, and then it's on them to get the KO. Losing those energies could be very problematic though. So we're gonna need some really good 2 prizes here, plus our top deck, and then some good cards off the Iono. Force Seal Stone is a fantastic card for sure to guarantee that we get the attack off after we Iono, so we shall see. Now, another really cool thing here would be, assuming my opponent knocks me out with a Raikou, for example, I can get the KO without needing to have the self damage, right? Which makes things a lot easier. Now they do bench the Raichu, but like I said, hopefully this should be either Flaffy and then Ultra Ball into Flaffy, or the 3rd generator, yeah, which there's also a chance they whiff. Yeah, not a very high one, but there is a chance. How many energies are they down? They're only down 4, so they probably have a lot of energies in their deck right now. Okay. So V-Star gone. Oh, what? Oh, wow. So they're playing more than one Flaffy. The Peony list usually plays a 1-1. Maybe they're playing a 1-2, which is fair. Yeah. Oh, wait, what? Okay, that discarded the Zapdos and the Reap. All right. So they still have their 2 generators, but this is where hopefully knocking out the next Roaring Moon off of an Iono to 2 is going to be complicated, right? That's what we're hoping for. That's a hope. Yeah, not much else we can do. That is literally all we're hoping for. So there's a Lightning Rondo, gets a KO. Now, this is why not attaching either of these was good. Now I can give myself the highest amount of HP, making it as difficult as possible for Raichu to get the KO. So we're gonna commit this, we're gonna commit this, and then the game's over. Regardless, I mean, if they damage me, then we would go into a tiebreaker game, possibly. I can't use 2 Direflame Wings, right? Yep, so there's very little point in benching this. Just powers up a future Raikou. Okay, so I think Pal Pad back the 2 bosses orders is a way to go here. And we are counting on drawing either a Dark Patch or Energy Switch. Any of those will help, right? I'm gonna go PokéStop to increase my odds. We're gonna go Iono, them to 2. Right? They still have Mew, but that's not super great odds. They get the energy, which is fantastic. Don't want to shuffle the deck just yet. Yeah, I don't want to actually shuffle the deck. Well, I mean, I have boss, but I need to find... Yeah, I'm still missing Dark Patch or Energy Switch, so I am going to PokéStop because of that. All right, found Energy Switch, perfect. So that means I can keep my boss, you know, which is fantastic. I can actually keep my boss's orders. I mean, I can keep Forest Seal Stone for boss, that's what I mean. So, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Ultra Ball for the other Roaring Moon. Why? Because this takes away Escape Rope plays. Alright, I still have my Forest Seal Stone, so I can just win next turn as long as I survive this turn. Yeah, so it's on my opponent to somehow find 5 energies, right? Somehow find 5 energies, or boss with Raichu onto the Squawk. That's what this game comes down to. So they don't have PokéStop, they have a 2-card hand. So yeah, they can go attach energy, attach Dynamotor, boss, KO, Squawk. They can also hit a lot of energies of their last two electric generators, so a Peony would also be very dangerous. They did lose a few Peonies, right? 3? They're down. Oh, they're only down 2 and at 1 Arven. So we'll see. Yeah, the ball is on their court. They need to win this turn, otherwise I go boss, KO. Oh, actually, I don't have a stadium. Well, now there is a stadium. And committing the Dynamotor before drawing with restart is a bad call. All right, they're going all in. Like the attachment is fine. The Dynamotor, bad idea. Do they find boss? Not immediately playing it. Either there is low rolling me here, or... Alright, they also didn't tandem unit, right? I guess... Yeah, never mind. That was correct. Because if they didn't have a boss in their hand, they didn't want to shuffle their deck. They fail it. Now the deck is shuffled. So what's the plan? Retreat into Fluffy? Iono doesn't like, they need double generator into 3 energies off of the generator. A lost vacuum would also help them. And yeah, they probably don't realize that. Whoa. Alright, or they can just hand me the game. So sure. Now there's no single card that they could draw that would win them the game. So alright. Easy win. Well, not easy, right? They put pressure, but then they did the right moves in the beginning, right? But this is the thing, yeah. In these 2-2 price trade-offs, yeah, ancient versus future, you need to be. You can never let go of the gas pedal, right? And the high HP of Roaring Mooniacs definitely makes a difference. And I didn't even need the ancient booster capsule because they lost the Zapdos along the way, right? So they also definitely had a few differences in the list because they had 2 Fluffies. So I don't know if they played a 2-2 line or a 1-2 line. I like the idea of the 1-2 line, so props on that. But yeah, if they wanted to have a chance, they needed to retreat into Fluffy and hope I didn't have boss, but if they realize that I have my Forest Seal Stone available, then I don't know what Raikou gets them, but yeah, the game was over at that point. So Iono 2-2, pretty powerful, and I don't need them to dead draw, I just need them to not have the 5-card combo, right? And that's how you want to go about it. But anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. This was Rossing Moon, very, very fantastic deck. Ross Cawthon, incredible pilot of the deck, and the #1 fan of Roaring Moon, and I'm glad he got that amazing result. He's a personal friend of mine, and I'm glad the deck is now catching on. Yeah, I definitely did not have hopes on the deck. I even made a video about how Roaring Moon has failed so far, but clearly it has redeemed itself and is now in a great spot in the metagame. Until next time.